Welcome back. All right, let us discuss the Carolina Hurricanes, the first of two teams that lost in the conference finals this year that I will be taking a look at. I'll look at Dallas tomorrow. But today we're talking about Carolina, and Carolina has been a very good team now for quite some time, going all the way back to 2018, 2019. In fact, this is the longest run Carolina's ever had without missing the playoffs. One thing that I've talked about this before, I'll throw this out here again. Teams that win the Stanley Cup generally are ones that will have that sustained success, and eventually they break through, and maybe Carolina breaks through next year. We shall see. So 2018, 2019, Carolina 46, 29, and 7, 99 points. They lost in the conference final that year in four straight against Boston, which has been a problem, those losses in conference finals. 2019-2020, at the time of the pause, they were 38, 25, and 5 for 81 points, and they lost in the first round that year. It is Boston again. This time they lost in 5 games. 2020-2021, 36, 12, and 8 record for Carolina, 80 points. They lost in the second round that year against Tampa. That took 5 games. 2021-2022, their best regular season at 54, 20, and 8 for 116 points. They lost in the second round against the Rangers in 7. 2022-2023, they finished 52, 21, and 9, 113 points. Got all the way to the conference final and got swept by Florida that year. 2023-2024, 52, 23, and 7 record for 111 points, and they lost in the second round against the Rangers in 6. 2024-2025, a 47, 30, and 5 record for 99 points, and they lost in the conference final, of course, against Florida, this time in 5 games. So they finally didn't get swept in a conference final, but now they're 1-16 in their last 4 conference finals dating back to 2009. Now, I've seen a lot of Canes fans saying, hey, this wasn't supposed to be a big year for them anyways, which is fine. It will be interesting to see what happens this offseason and how the team looks next season, because there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that a team's just going to stay in or near the top of the league from one year to the next. But Carolina has a good chance. Now, Sebastian Aho, 79 games played. We'll change the 2 to a 7 because that's wrong. But 79 games played, 29 goals, 45 assists for 74 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 7 goals, 8 assists for 15 points. Seth Jarvis, 73 games played, 32 goals, 35 assists, 67 points during the regular season. And in the playoffs, 15 games, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. I think Jarvis is a star player. His point totals are only going to get better. And if they get over the hump, I wouldn't be surprised if Jarvis is the one that's holding up the Stanley Cup, and we're talking about how he's been their best player. Svechnikov, the goal scorer that doesn't score enough goals during the regular season. 72 games, 20 goals, 28 assists, 48 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 8 goals, 4 assists, 12 points. 8 goals in 15 games, that's more along the lines of how I think his goal scoring should be in terms of goals per game. I think Svechnikov should be 40 to 50 goals. His release is ridiculous. Gostisbehere, 70 games, 7 goals, 38 assists, 45 points during the regular season. In the playoffs, 15 games, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. I thought the Canes did a really good job of, shoring up their defense. A lot of exits in the offseason. I thought everybody that came in as replacements did pretty well, including Roslovic. 81 games, 22 goals, 17 assists, 39 points. In the playoffs, just 9 games played, 1 goal, 3 assists, 4 points. Jordan Staal, 75 games, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. Martinook, heart and soul player for this team, 79 games, 15 goals, 21 assists, 36 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 1 goal, 5 assists for 6 points. Jackson Blake, whose totals should only get better in the future, 80 games, 17 goals, 17 assists, 34 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points. Kotkaniemi. I've talked about Kotkaniemi before. I'm going to talk about him again here. I do think there needs to be some more offense from him. 78 games, 12 goals, 21 assists, 33 points. In the playoffs, no goals, 4 assists in 14 games. Last time I talked about his contract, and now I didn't think he lived up to it. There were a lot of Canes fans that weren't all that happy about it, but I don't see it. I don't see it. And then in the playoffs, he took one costly penalty comes to mind, and yeah, we'll see what happens going into next season. But you want him to have a chance to, succeed and grow and all that. I don't know. Taylor Hall, after the trade to Carolina, 31 games, 9 goals, 9 assists, 18 points. He earned himself an extension during the playoffs, 15 games, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. It felt like Hall got less prominent in the Carolina lineup as the playoffs went along. Logan Stankoven. So the price that they paid in all of this mess with Rantanen. Stankoven is what they have now for Rantanen, and of course there's a first-round draft pick we'll talk about as well. But Stankoven, 19 games after the trade from Dallas, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points. In the playoffs, 15 games, 5 goals, 3 assists, 8 points, and he stays one of my favorite players. As a Stars fan, still kind of sad that they traded him. Totally understand why. Jankowski after the trade was a lot of discussion about Jankowski, just the fact he was scoring on every shot he got. 8 goals in 19 games overall. In the playoffs, no goals, 1 assist in 7 games. So that magic did not last all the way through. And yeah, we'll see what happens going into next season. Kochetkov, if we get into the goaltending here, 27-16-3 record for an .897 save percentage during the regular season. In the playoffs, he went 1-1 with a tough .855 save percentage. Anderson, in the games he played during the regular season, he went 13-8-1 with an .899 save percentage. In the playoffs, 8-5 with a .907 save percentage. At times in the playoffs, he looked great. At times in the playoffs, not so much. So Freddie Anderson, we'll see how he looks next season, but both goaltenders are under contract into next year, so no reason to think anything's going to change. Now, in getting to that conference final, the Canes knocked out the Devils in 5, and they knocked out the Washington Capitals in 5 as well. So pretty rapid. Every series they were in, the first 2 in their favor, and the third series against them. But one thing that's in their favor is the fact they have $28,415,958 in cap space, and they don't have to worry about any of their core guys needing a renewal of their contracts. Now, they don't have a second-round draft pick this year, but it's not a huge deal. They do have Dallas's first-round draft pick next year in that Rantanen trade, so there's the potential that could be a half-decent draft pick. 2026 draft is seen as pretty deep. Their pending free agent list, they don't have a pending restricted free agent. They've got a few notables for next year: Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven, and Nikishin. Nikishin's not on the board in this part, but mentioned here. He is a notable for next year. The expectation, I would think, would be that Nikishin will be played a little more regularly than he was during the playoffs. Brind'Amour doing what coaches do. They don't trust rookies or new players in big games and in playoffs. You'll go with your veterans, and fans will always chirp about that. Now, the unrestricted free agent list is interesting. There are a couple players here you need to replace if they, in fact, go to free agency. Fast, who missed the entire season. Roslovic, who started the season well, faded a little bit towards the end there. Robinson, I think he was a really good, solid player for them during the season. I think it was 14 goals, 18 assists he had during the year. I like Robinson, and if he doesn't stay in Carolina, somebody's going to sign him. It might be in his best interest to stay in Carolina, to be honest, because I think they got the best out of him this year. Jost, also going to market, as well as on the blue line, Burns, who, if he decides to stick around, I'd be very surprised if it's not in Carolina. And Orlov. Orlov had a tough playoff, so I do not anticipate Orlov returning to Carolina. He had some tough plays, very visible plays against Florida, where they kind of exposed him a little bit, and so I would think Orlov goes to market, and we'll see what kind of contract he gets. He's not at a point where I think he's going to end up retiring or anything, but not very likely he ends up back in Carolina. Could use a fresh start. Sebastian Aho's contract, $9.75 million cap hit until 2032. That's a bargain. He's a point per game, and I still think Aho could be a 90-point player during a regular season at some point. Svechnikov, $7.75 million cap hit till 2029. If he scores like I know he can, it's a bargain. When he scores 20 goals in a season, it looks expensive. So hopefully he gets more towards the 30-goal range than 20. Seth Jarvis, $7.42 million cap hit until 2032. I think that's going to become a huge bargain. It already is. The fact he had 32 goals and had a cap hit of less than $7.5 million. And that it's there until 2032 is just absolutely ridiculous. Kokaniemi, $4.82 million cap hit till 2030. If you want a little extra cap space, I'm just saying. But, yeah, I understand. Jacob Slavin, $6.4 million cap hit till 2033. Lots of praise for Slavin, even in that series against Florida where Carolina was having trouble. Slavin made some really good plays there. The problem is they don't have 6 Jacob Slavins. Nobody does. He is an elite defensive defenseman. That $6.4 million cap hit. Fantastic. Anderson, $2.75 million cap hit till 2026. So for one more year. And then Kochetkov signed for 2 more years at a $2 million cap hit. So those are 2 decent goaltenders, and the cap hit comes in below $5 million combined. So a lot of teams would be envious of that cap hit for their goaltending tandem. So upcoming prospects, just 2 worth mentioning, I think here. Scott Morrow got into some playoff games, had his struggles here and there, but that experience should help him out going forward. And up front, left winger or right wing, you can play either side, and that's Bradley Nadeau. He got into some regular season games. I would think he'll get more games next year and maybe get a shot at full-time employment with the Carolina Hurricanes. But it will be interesting to see what they do with all that cap space. They could add a pretty decent forward and a pretty decent defenseman, or you could add a couple of pretty decent defensemen. We'll see what they end up doing. The one problem Carolina seems to have is that they run out of goals in key moments of playoff series, especially as the series get more tense. So you go from the first round to the second round to the conference final. It just feels like Carolina's offense kind of dries up, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get around that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I think Carolina should still be a very good team next year, and if this cap hit is this cap space is utilized correctly, they could be quite the player. There's always the discussion about whether or not they're cheap with players. Certainly the contracts are bargains of the players they still have. They seem to have played hardball with Rantanen, or Rantanen just didn't want to be there. Either way, I think that's to their benefit right now, that they have played hardball with some of these contracts and they haven't been willing to overpay. But I do understand the sentiment as well that some fans wish they'd just loosen up a little bit. But let me know your thoughts on that as well, and if you think that's going to influence their ability to bring guys in. If you're not willing to outbid other teams, if you do decide to cheap out a little bit, it can make it a little more difficult to get players. But let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support as always. I will talk to you again soon.